Good morning. Welcome to AJINORAH Institution. I am Jean.
And I'm Nissa, and we are here to discuss, share, and learn something about speaking in IELTS. So, shall we?
Yes.
All right. So I hope everyone is doing really well, and we have some really great news to share with you guys. First of all, we have NHS interview held in Chennai on November 26th, and fortunately we conducted a very successful interview last week as well in Kochi. So we have the same in Chennai as well on next week, November 26th. So stay tuned. All right. So I hope we can jump into the topic. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, guys. We can start with a very slight overview about IELTS speaking. That's our first thing. Okay, so speaking, if you're talking about it, it's a interview kind of session with a face-to-face session with your examiner. It will last for 11 to 14 minutes with 3 parts.
Yes.
Briefly, that's IELTS speaking, and that's the shortest module in all the 4 modules of our IELTS. Okay, all right. So I think we can just give a vague idea about all the 3 parts first, and then let's get into the main topic. Okay, so the first part is a introduction and an interview kind of session where the examiner will introduce themselves first, and then we'll have some personal questions to answer, like your
hometown,
your family, your hobbies, your interests, and things like that. So I think we can just give them some sample questions and some sample answers as well for part 1, just very few. Okay, so I think we need to mention this hometown thing and the family kinds of questions. What do you think, Jane?
Yes, for sure, because those are the things that are commonly asked by the examiner, and also commonly made mistakes by the students as well. So
see, if you ask me like questions like where do you come from or tell me about your family, is very common kind of questions, but we really have to mention those because those are very common and most asked to most of our students, but most of them make the same mistakes as well. Okay, so for example, when the question is where do you come from, see, most of the students, when I ask them about what are the issues or troubles they face when you're speaking in English, they say they get confused with the format or the tense they should use for their answers. See, but the thing is, whatever be the format or the tense you should use, that's given in our question itself. See, when I ask you about where do you come from, see, the thing is, where do you come from? So your answer should be like I come from, or I am from, or you can use synonyms there. I hail from, simple as that. But don't say I am coming from. See, in my question there were no ing form, so your answer shouldn't have any. So when I ask you where do you come from, don't say I am coming from. You can say I come from Kannur, or I am from Kannur, or I hail from Kannur, anything. Okay, that's a very common mistake our students make. And the other question is, tell me about your family. Okay, so tell me about your family, Jean.
Well, my family consists of my mother, my father, my brother.
All right, so that's what we are trying to say. See, when I ask you, tell me about your family, there is a programmed answer for most of our students. My family consists of 4 members, or my family consists of 5 members. Okay, technically speaking, it's right. You can say my family consists of, it's absolutely fine. But അപ്പോൾ മലയാളത്തിൽ പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എൻ്റെ ഫാമിലിയിൽ ഉൾപ്പെട്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് 4 അംഗങ്ങളാണ് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയും. ഒരാൾ ചോദിക്കുകയാണ് ഓക്കെ വീട്ടിൽ ആരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട് എന്ന് ചോദിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ ഒരിക്കലും അങ്ങനെ അല്ല പറയാം, അല്ലേ? സോ ദ സെയിം അപ്ലൈസ് ഹിയർ ആസ് വെൽ. മൈ ഫാമിലി കൺസിസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ കൺസിസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ഇസ് മോർ ലൈക്ക് എ formal word. You can use it on things like maybe your house.
Based on non-living objects.
Most probably like my house consists of 4 bedrooms. Absolutely fine. But family is more like a personal thing. So you can say I live with my parents and siblings, or my family is all about my parents and siblings. I live with my parents and siblings, anything. Okay, don't just use the term consist of. All right, so that's why I thought it's really important to include these two questions in here. And when we go through the resources available, there were very interesting topics like geography, technology, and time management, hobbies. Lot of things were there. But see, Jean, you're a science student, Ale?
Yes.
All right, so we have if you're getting a question about geography or history, that may be a little bit difficult for you, right?
Yes.
So we have a kind of a remedy or a tip that you can use, but before that we have special news to share. First of all, it's very happy that all of our students got a very excellent result for our last OET and IELTS exams. Congratulations to the winners. We are really proud of you guys, proud AJINORians.
Yes.
Yeah. So we got very interesting and excellent results for OET and IELTS as well. So everybody here is ready to fly. All the best, guys. All the best for your future. We are really happy for you guys. So you can see a lot of students, lot of students for OET and IELTS, CBT, everything. Okay, guys. Melby George, Anusha George, Ada, that's a very interesting name. Okay, all the best, guys, all the best. All right, okay, so let's get back to the topic.
Yes.
See, we were talking about geography. Okay, so both of us are from science background. We are
Right.
science students. So if we get a question like, do you like geography, or what do you think about geography, what's the most interesting thing about geography? See, that's like a very foreign subject or a very unfamiliar question for us, because as far as I know, geography is about globe or about the earth. That's all I know. So if they keep asking me questions about geography, I'll definitely become panic. What about you?
In my case, if somebody asks me about geography, I will be I'll become very panic. Also, I'll be for me, geography is about continents and countries and God knows what. So yeah, this scenario happens a lot of times with many candidates. So in this kind of scenario, what can we say is what we
See,
want
we
to
have two options there.
Yes.
So if you are getting very unfamiliar question or a very strange question, you can, if possible, you can cook up stories.
Yes, for sure.
Until and unless it's believable, it's logically correct, you can talk about anything, you can cook up stories about anything. It's your comfort. And we have another option. Most students are not aware of it. See, when you're getting a question that you don't know, just accept it.
Exactly.
Simple as that. See, for example, if you're getting a question in part 2, like describe a science documentary watched. Okay, this is an example I give to my students when they are coming for into the speaking or in our classes. I always discuss this question because most of our students become nervous, like documentary, really?
Right, about nuclear physics.
Yes,
Imagine
rocket science.
Commerce student coming and attending a question on nuclear physics. It's very
difficult. See,
Yeah.
in that kind of cases, you can just accept it. See, it's not about your knowledge, how knowledgeable person you are,
Right.
how much you know, or it's not about your personality. It's just your language. So even if you don't know something, just accept it. So how you convince it or how you convey that to your examiner, that what matters. Okay,
Absolutely.
so when you get a question like describe a science documentary watch, just admit that you are not a person who is really into documentaries, and especially not science documentaries. You can just accept it. Okay, but they won't be changing the question or anything, but you can play with your language there, with like you don't know something, why you don't know that, and what else you know. You can just connect those things and speak for as much as you want. All right, so again, just geography. Okay, do you like geography? Yes, I love geography, but to be honest, I don't know anything about geography. You can just say that, no problem. Okay, and what if the question is about technology, Jean? See, like which technology you often use, cell phone or computer?
Well, in my perspective, I usually use cell phone because it's handy, it's portable, and you can carry it anywhere. And preferably, you get information then and now every time, so through cell phone. So
cell phone. And what if the question is like, is there anything you don't like about technology? See, if you ask me, is there anything you don't like about technology, I would say, see, technology, not just technology, every man-made thing in this earth, I'm not talking about natural things, but every man-made things on this earth has pros and cons. Okay, so if you ask me about one thing I don't like about technology, is it was actually meant to save our time, make human much more easier to do lot of things, but on contrary, it's actually consuming most of our time. It is dominating in our lifestyle right now. So that's the thing I don't like about technology, and you can give a sample answer for that as well.
Yeah, so if this question is asked to me, I would rather say when it comes to technology, it is always dependent on batteries and electronic backups, power to be precise. So unless and until it doesn't have a power backup or a power, it is not, like, it doesn't run. So that is the thing that I do not love or do not like about technology. So
so this is part one. Most of the questions would be about yourself and your interest and preferences. So you can just give a moderate answer with 2 to 3 sentences, like is there anything you don't like about technology? Just say that and give a reason or an example for that. Make it simple. That's better.
So many students often say that if I say this, will it be right, or if I say this, will the examiner judge me? So what should we tell them about?
See, that's what I mentioned earlier. See, it's not about your personality or your knowledge or anything, just the language. So whatever thing you're speaking there, it may be completely against the opinion or attitude of your examiner. That's absolutely fine. Even in your third part, when they are discussing something, you may feel like examiner is completely against you, or you are just like arguing. So you tend to agree with them at the end, so that you won't low score there. So it's not like that. Okay, even if you're completely arguing and against the examiner, it's fine. It's absolutely
it's your
fine.
Perspective after all.
See, whatever I'm asking, it's your answer and your perspective. You can say that, no problem at all. And you're saying, is there anything you don't like about technology? No, I love technology. I don't have anything to say it as a drawback about technology. Absolutely fine, no problem. It's your answer. All right. Okay, so that's about first part, because we are here to discuss and in detail give a demonstration of cue cards. Okay, so let's get into that. So see, if we are talking about the second part, it's like a cue card session. As the name suggests, it's a cue card with a main topic and 3 or 4 subtopics, and it's also known as individual long turn, because that's the longest part of your speaking, where you have to speak for 2 minutes without any interruption. Okay, Jean, so you took your IELTS I think 5 or 6 months back. So what do you think, how you felt about cue card when you were practicing and when you were attending your exam? How was it?
Well, coming to the practice session, for me initially cue card was quite difficult, because I think this must be the case for each and every candidate who is appearing for the exam right now, because for 2 minutes you talk continuously, and that too in English, is a very big deal, especially for people like from the regional states. So I think talking about me, I faced a lot of difficulties when I was doing my cue card initially, but I think with practice and with good timing, I think I was able to overcome it. So I think when it comes to cue card, it's always good that you keep in mind that time is a very important feature or a very important component that has to be kept in mind. So usually I tell my students that if it is for cue card, you should always initially when you're practicing your cue card at home or be it anywhere else, you always keep a timer for 3 minutes and then practice for double. Like if you're keeping a timer for 3 minutes, practice for 6 minutes. If you're keeping a timer for 2 minutes, practice for 4 minutes. So yeah, that's how you overcome it. So,
see, if you have practice for to speak for almost 5 minutes, even if you get a very strange or very difficult question for your exam, talking for 2 minutes won't be a task for you.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so as you mentioned time, let's just show them how to use that 1 minute time of preparation. As you said, that's very critical and very important. How you use it, that's actually dependent on your performance. And so let's do it. Okay, so I'll just give a sample cue card in your screen first, and let's just show how we use our 1 minute time. If we are the students, or if you are attempting the exam, and if you got this cue card, how will we do it? That's what we are going to show you. So the question is, describe something that surprised you. Okay, and you should say what it is, how you found out about it, what you did, and explain whether it made you happy. Okay, so that's your question. And so we have 1 minute time to prepare. All right.
Yes.
So let's see, Jean. So you can now prepare your own answer.
Yes.
And I'll do that as well. Okay. So you can set a timer for 1 minute.
Yes, and the preparation time starts now.
All right. All right, so I'm done with our 1 minute time of preparation, and I will just show you how we did it right now. And before that, I'll just give you a reminder of our NHS interview next week on Chennai on November 26th. Also, we had a interview last week in Kochi in our head office for nurses. That was a really good experience for us, guys. So we are just sharing the very memorable moments with you guys. It was really amazing for a lot of our nurses. It was a great opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. So the guys were here, and they met all of our nurses in person. Yeah, that was really
Amazing.
great.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's get back to the business. So this is our cue card, and now we'll show you how to use our 1 minute time of preparation. So we already did it, but we'll show you how to do it as a demonstration. Okay, so can I have a slide in here, please? All right. Okay, Jean, so we have a lot of options to use your 1 minute time of preparation. So totally up to us. It's
Yes.
totally up to our comfort. So can you just show them how you do it? Just
Well, basically, I follow a method called as crisscross method. Okay. Yeah. I think there's something.
now it's working. You can take a pen from
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically I tell my students to either use this method or spider technique. In
Okay.
this method, there is basically you get 4 sub questions. So each sub questions you can prepare in each boxes given here.
Alright.
So my first sub question was what was the celebration all about, right? So basically,
what was the thing that you surprised you?
yeah, so I'll just write that one word that surprised me the most. So it was my birthday, so which was celebrated by my friends. Okay, so it's just a rough thing, please. Like we should not look into the handwriting. Okay, and the second sub question was
How you found about it?
yes, so it was a surprise. And it was a hilltop. That's it. Nothing else.
All right.
And,
And how you felt about it?
So I have to express only my emotions here,
Yeah.
which will be I felt contented, over the moon. That's it.
All right. So you will just make points there.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So this is how I'm gonna prepare my cue card. In 1 minute, this is all I'm gonna say about. So we will construct into sentence, and in the 2 minutes, without any interruption, I'm gonna say about.
All right, so this is how you do it. So you'll just answer the sub questions and make points for that in 4 sections. So this is for the first sub question, then this is second, and so you can just follow this order for your answer.
Yes.
So you'll just achieve your time limit there.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. And you mentioned another thing there, so you can just
So this is what we follow as spider techniques, wherein you have to draw something like this. Okay, which is
And
basically,
just,
I term it as tentacles of a spider, and you just have to, you know, mention whatever you have to tell it.
This is the same.
The
points,
same
right?
thing.
Yeah.
So you mention each points here in one, like correlating the lines. So that's it, and you have to talk about it.
Yeah,
so
you
that's
can just pick your order and talk about it. That's one method. See, and if you ask me how I'll do it, I'll just show you.
Yes.
Sorry. All right. Let me just erase it. So you just used most of our screen. All right. Okay, so I just took a pen. See, if you give me 1 minute time, the first thing I do is just read the question.
Yes.
And I don't like to draw a lot of things in the paper, because I think it's lot more time consuming, just my opinion. Okay, most of our students use these kinds of methods that really help them as well. So but if I'm getting some questions like this, I won't be, most of the time I won't be following the orders of that sub question or anything. I'll just make points like this, just key points. I'll just write it like this, and
points,
just just points. I'll write it and just refer those, because this is just for our reference.
Right.
The examiner won't be looking into this, and they won't be judging them with this, so you don't have to be worried about your handwriting or the way you write it or anything. Okay, so this is the most comfortable way for me to write all those things, so I'll just do it. Or for other people, for some people, they'll just plan everything on their mind.
Yes.
They do a mind mapping, so even that's fine.
That's also
they are just
absolutely
giving you a pen and paper just for your convenience. You can use those if you want, only if you want. Otherwise, you can just plan it in your head and speak about it. But what we will suggest is just make some points.
Better.
Okay, because you would be nervous, and even if you get blank or stuck in between, you can just refer to those and just go on with that. Otherwise, you'll be just blank.
Yes.
So that may consume most of your time. That's why. So it's up to you. Use your 1 minute time accordingly. Okay. All right. So let's move into the next one. So if you are talking about the 1 minute time of preparation, so you can just answer the sub questions in order. You can do that way, or you can do mind mapping. That's up to you. But when you get a question, the first thing that should comes into your mind is how you can give a very impressive and very skillful introduction or an opening for an answer. Okay,
Right.
because Jean, I remember you telling me most of our students just give abrupt answer. They'll just start from nowhere and end it incomplete.
Yes.
So that feels like a little bit awkward, because they'll just answer the questions and they won't be having any interconnection between the things they are
Nothing,
saying.
yeah.
That's a criteria in our speaking coherence. So whatever you are saying should be connected. Okay, so use your language skills and use your everything, whatever you can, to the maximum in your opening. That's what
Absolutely,
we'll say.
yes.
All right. Okay. So how will you do it, Jean? How will you give an introduction or an opening to a cue card?
Well, basically what I follow is I always open my cue card with a story. When I think basically story, often promotes a human being or provides a human being with basic ideas to continue. The form of continuity will be there. So if it's only 2 minutes, and most of our students won't be able to even complete that cue card within this 2 minutes. So what I usually tell them is, you open the cue card with a story. That is always good, because story formats always provide the students with a wider range of ideas. They become more innovative when they are telling it in a cue card form, in a story form. So it's always better, and apart from that, you will be able to complete within 2 minutes. So that actually is a very good creativity that students can use it during the cue card session.
Yes, use your creativity, use your imagination, use your skills, everything to the maximum in your opening part.
Yes,
that's it. See, even if you're narrating, like you said, in a story form, or you're just narrating an incident in your life, most probably you will cover all the sub questions without even knowing it.
Yes.
See, how, why, when, what, all these sub questions will be automatically covered
yes.
there. So it's like a piece of cake. Yeah, all right. So work on your opening a little more, and I'll just give you a sample answer for describe something that surprised you. Okay, so if describe something that surprised you. When anybody get this question, the first thing that comes to their mind is their birthday celebration
or anniversary.
Yeah, their surprise parties and everything. That's the easiest and very convincing story. Yeah,
absolutely.
So they can. You can opt it, no problem at all. Even I'm choosing the same. Okay, see, describe something that surprised you. So I'm just talking about a birthday celebration, a cake I received from my special ones, and the same thing. To be precise, the same cliche thing. But see, even if you're talking about a very basic, very common incident that maybe most of the students who got this question could have told, but the way you present it, that's
right.
what matters. Okay,
yes.
So even I'm speaking about a birthday cake I received for my last birthday, but let's see, I'll just I'll just try to make it a little more different in presentation. Okay, so if you ask me, describe something that surprised you. See, I'm talking about a cake. So you have a lot of things to do there as an opening. You can talk about desserts, or you can talk about food culture in your country, or you can talk about celebrations from your country. You can talk about anything. You can open with anything you want and connect that with your main topic. So I'm just talking about desserts in common first, and then I'm connecting that with my birthday celebration. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so as an Indian, I was really fortunate enough to taste, explore and experience a lot of desserts in my lifetime. So eating a cake or gifting a cake was not a new thing for me, but when you ask me about this thing that really surprised me, of course that's a cake. Ironically, it's a cake because it was more than the cake. The thing that surprised me was the affection the grandparents of my grandparents showed to me. It happened during my last birthday. It was during the COVID pandemic time, so I was not expecting any celebrations or anything, but surprisingly my grandparents drove all the way from Kottayam just to meet me, and when they came, they brought a very special cake with them. So that moment, that effort they put in, that was something surprised me really to my core, because it was during the, as I said, it was during the COVID situation, and it was really dangerous for them to be even out of their house, but they took that risk just to meet me, and it's more like the more affectionative and more like love and care they have for me, other than that cake. So that's what something really surprised me, and I'll cherish that moment for my whole lifetime. Okay, yes. See, this is how you do it. So I was talking about a very basic birthday cake I received. Maybe instead of grandparents, you can just put in your friends or your parents. You can do anything, but
it's the way how you put it.
Yes, so you just started with something very in common, like that's how we do it in general statement for writing.
Right.
The same applies here. You can just start with something in general and connect it with your main topic and talk about it, and just deviate it as if you want, because you can use the same answer for a question like describe a special cake you received, or describe a celebration you had in your life, describe a memory you cherish, anything. You can connect this answer to any cue cards. Yes, that's how you do it. Just be flexible with your answers, that's it. Okay, so that's a sample answer we gave you. So we'll just give another cue card question here, and we'll just give you a sample answer for that as well. Okay, so this is our question. Describe a creative person whose work you admire. Okay, and you should say who he or she is, how do you know him or her, what creative things he or she has done, and explain why you think he or she is creative. Okay, this is your question. So Jean, would you mind giving them a sample answer?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. No.
So we'll keep a timer for 1 minute. Just for a demonstration maybe.
Yeah, okay. So you got this question and you're preparing for 1 minute.
Yes.
And you'll have your notes prepared with you, and then you'll answer it. Okay.
Yes.
So you can set a timer for 2 minutes and you can just talk.
All right. All right. So that's it. All right. So the question given to me was describe a creative person whose work I admire the most. Yeah. So in this cue card, we always say you should give a bang on intro. So the intro that I'm going to give here is we should talk about, like, maybe I'll start like this. Not everyone is very creative, or not everyone is blessed with creativity, but I know some people who are outstandingly creative and have a mind filled with innovative ideas. Okay, so today I would like to talk about my childhood friend. Her name is Tanya, and she basically is from Gujarat. All right, and I remember the first memory that I cherished with her was during my kindergarten. She used to be my kindergarten friend, and ever since then our bond have cherished like long forever. So the one thing that I admired in her was right from the very childhood, she was always interested in painting. So painting was just a hobby when she was at school, but after that, when she grew up and when she came to college, she decided to take painting as her mainstream. So that actually made me very happy, because I knew that she will be flourishing in this stream for sure. Also, she had a very peculiar kind of a character. She used to be an early bird. She used to wake up early in the morning and do her daily course, and she used to sit with one painting board along with the side of a scenery or whatever, and basically she used to choose window side, and she used to draw she used to paint things related to nature, things related to city life, whatever used to come in her mind, she used to do that. And the very next day she used to come and show it to me. So that is a thing that I used to love and admire about her. Her paintings usually ranged from texture paintings, portrait. I was astonished when one day she literally drew my portrait and showed to me. So that was really very heart overwhelming for me. And the thing that I actually loved about her is the way she balances her painting along with her other co-curricular activities. So one day she painted, as I told, she painted a portrait of mine, and can you believe it, she literally she took that portrait and her there was an exhibition that was there in France. She took that and that got sold in an auction. So that was something that really made me proud of her. So I will always cherish the memories that I have with her. And yeah, I really am proud of her.
All right, Jane, thank you so much. Okay, all right, so we gave 2 sample answers for your cue cards, and thank you so much, Jane, because I was insisting on her to make some mistakes so that I can be that all-knowing person in life, and I can guide, Jane, it's not like that, and something stuffs like that, but you gave a really good answer, Jane, and to
Thank
be
you.
precise, we have 4 criteria for speaking.
Yes.
Lexical resources, fluency and coherence, grammatical range and accuracy, and comes pronunciation. So let's start with fluency and coherence.
Yes.
In fluency and coherency, fluency is that easiness in your language. It's not about speaking really fast or putting any style or anything, but
continuity.
that continuity and that easiness in your language. They should feel like, okay, you're really comfortable in your language. That's what they are looking in your fluency. And if you're talking about fluency, what can affect your fluency is using too much fillers. Okay, so fillers, most of the people think fillers is just sounds like and things like that, but it's not the case.
It's more than that.
Whatever you use to fill your gaps when you're stuck in between, when you're searching for a particular word, or when you're confused where to end this, where to put this, whatever you do to fill those gaps are fillers. Even if it's a word or it's a sound, it's fillers. It's considered as fillers. See, even if you're using words like well, all those things, that is considered as fillers. See, if very skilled and a very flexible person is speaking for continuously for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, or they are having a discussion, definitely they will use some and well in their conversation, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're using it too much as a filler, that can affect your fluency. See, scientifically speaking, your fluency and your fillers are inversely proportional. The more you use fillers, less your fluency become. Okay, so you use your things wisely. You can use all those things 1 or 2 times, that's absolutely fine, but don't make it too obvious or too much. Okay, all right, that's about fluency. And coherence is always the connection between the ideas you're speaking. So when you're having too many pauses in between, or if you're using too many fillers, all these things will affect your fluency and coherence criteria. So when we do individual speaking for students, we just evaluate their speaking according to the criteria given. So the first one is always fluency and coherence, and we'll just show them like, okay, these are the fillers you use, these are the irregular or unnecessary pauses you used. All these things will affect your fluency. We'll just convince them or convey all those things to them. And the next criteria is lexical resources. Okay, lexical resources, as we already said, consist of, see, lexical resources not having extraordinary vocabulary
or sophisticated vocabulary.
Even examiners shouldn't be understanding the words you're using. They would be like, what? That's not the case. Okay, see, lexical resources is about using very appropriate word for the situation without too much redundance or repetition. That's it, simple as that. Okay, the words you use should be clearly appropriate for the situation. That's it. Okay, and don't use the same words too many times. If you are succeeding in that, no problem at all. And I think we suggest them to use idioms and some very interesting vocabularies in speaking. So what do you think about that?
See, I feel it ranges. So a person who is who wants a score around 6.5, I think idioms are not mandatory, but if a person needs a score more than 7.58, if he's looking beyond that, I think he can use idioms. But I feel idioms are not mandatory to use for sure. But yes, when speaking about lexical resources as in total, please use good words. That is what we recommend. To be precise, idioms are not that important, I feel, for a 6.5 band or speaking.
Okay, so you can always aim for 7 or 7.5 and you can work for that. But what we will suggest is use idioms only if it is coming to you naturally. You shouldn't be bothered or more conscious about these things. Like when you're getting a cue card, the first thing you think is not about what idioms I could use, what idioms I can include
Yes.
in this. No, that should come to you naturally. And when you're preparing, if you're one or two idioms are striking in your mind, or you got very interesting words, you can just note it and you can use it, but it shouldn't be bothering you.
Yes,
That's
because
it.
it's a very strong, vocabulary, which can even, diminish your score.
Yeah.
Okay, it can decrease your score. So it's always better if you use idioms, proper idioms in the proper place.
Yeah.
It plays a very crucial role.
So when you're practicing, you can purposefully add these things and check whether it's your cup of tea or
Yes.
not. Simply saying
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Check it if your cup of tea or not, and just decide accordingly. That's it. And the next one is grammatical range and accuracy. It's about the tense you use and the sentence varieties you could bring on. Okay, so tense, as we said, people often get confused with the tense and format they could use in questions.
Yes.
But how can we do it?
Already in the question itself, the tense will be given to you. The question will be demanding you to speak in what tense you're supposed to speak. So, like for example, if we have taken this particular question, which I have taken, describe a creative person whose work you admire, which means you have to talk about a person whom you used to admire and still admire. So you can use either present tense or past tense, because the works that you're telling about that person has to be from the past. So obviously the past tense will come in. So the question itself demands from you which tense you're supposed to use, but many students unfortunately go wrong with the tenses. They use future tense, they use past tense in place of present tense, and so on and so forth. So tense,
what you
please.
can do is you can just fix your tense during that 1 minute time
Yes,
of preparation
of course,
itself. You can
yes.
just fix it. See, okay, you're going to talk about an incident or a thing happened in your past, so definitely your answer should be in past itself.
Yes.
So you can just fix it there and talk it. Okay. Otherwise, if you are thinking about in between, you may get confused with some future tense and some present tense. All will come and it will become messy.
Yes.
Okay, just fix it in your 1 minute time of preparation itself, and try to use a lot of sentence varieties. Just play with your sentences. See, that will help you in your fluency as well. They'll feel like, okay, he is very comfortable with their language. They're using it very wisely. Make an impression there. See, IELTS speaking is all about making an impression. See, you'll be very nervous, you'll be shivering to your core, but pretend like you're really confident. Okay,
Absolutely.
your body language, the way you sit, the gestures you use, your eye contact, everything matters. Okay,
Yes.
see, if you're confident in your language, that will definitely reflect in your body as well. So even if you're shivering inside, just pretend like you're really confident. That will help you to make an impression there. Just pretend everything, that you're very easy with this. It's really easy going, it's very comfortable for you. That will help you to make an impression there, so that even if you make a pause or a grammatical slip there, they won't mind.
Yes, for sure.
It comes naturally. Yeah, so that's a very simple tip that you can use in your IELTS speaking. Just pretend. Okay.
Also cooking up.
Yeah, cook up. You can cook up stories anytime, anywhere, as much as you want. Until it's believable and logically correct, you can talk about anything. Okay, all right, guys, and the last one is pronunciation. All right, pronunciation is a very interesting criteria for us, because even when we are talking about it, it was very funny, because we have too many pronunciation. It's not like we are really great, we know every pronunciation in this word. Even we make mistakes, even we correct ourselves in between our group. See, that's how you learn it, right? See, make mistakes and learn from mistakes. Even when we are talking to, even when I am talking in my classroom, I'll just tell our students to feel free to make mistakes, so that we'll have some work to do.
Yes.
Okay, unless you make any mistakes, we don't have any job to do here. See, so making pronunciation mistakes or making grammatical errors is absolutely fine. Learn from your mistakes. That's the thing. So that make sure that you're not repeating the same mistakes again and again. You should be happy that you're making mistakes, so that you're going to learn something new, something you didn't know yet.
Yes.
Okay, that's really interesting. Learning is a very interesting thing. So if you're talking about pronunciation, even pronunciation is wrong for most of us.
Some people say pronunciation.
Yeah, it's pronunciation, and we have some common mistakes how people make. First of all, content. Okay, content of this video. We were discussing about the content of this live for an hour now.
No.
What do you think?
That is absolutely wrong.
Okay.
It's content.
All
So
right.
it's like when you say content, it's about a feeling of happiness. Like when you say I'm contented with my work that I do right now, but we were discussing about the content of the video. So that is the major differences.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
Okay. So whatever we consider as content till now is content.
Yes.
All right. So we were not using content at the correct situation until now, but make sure that from now on you learn something new. Just use it. Okay. It's content. As it is in satisfaction, and it's always content wherever you use it. Okay, all right. And the next one is very interesting. See, I love AJINORAH.
Hello.
See, love. See, that's a Malayali influence or Malayalam influence. Unfortunately, we always say love for love. See, I love to do that. I love to exercise. I love to dance. See, that's a very, very basic mistake we make.
We as Malayalis, as in like native people,
Yeah,
we do make
we
that
do
the
that.
same.
See, it's like a programmed one in our mind. I
Yes.
love to do that. I love to do this. It's love always. We don't have that ow sound there. Love, no. It's love. Always love. I love this. I love AJINORAH. I love English. I love speaking. Simple as that.
Yes.
Okay. And the next one, it's T. Yeah, the alphabet T.
Yes.
See, for us, it's talk, time, activity, to. Okay. See, always it's ta for us.
Yes.
For
T is
Malayalam,
very evident in that.
ta. You just stress on that. See, if we just give very minute importance to T all the time, that will actually make you sound very professional. Like always pronounce this T as ta.
Ta,
Ta.
right.
Nammada paachayada ta. Ta. To, talk, time, honest, activity. See, that very subtle and very poised sound should come in
Yes.
our speaking. See, that will
Just
help
like
you.
water.
Yeah, it's even there, the W, kiss the W technique.
Yes.
I think we have already discussed that in the recent live, kiss the W technique and this T, all these minute things. If you change these kinds of things, that will definitely improve your style of speaking.
Yes.
That will help you. And the next one, I think for pronunciation, you had a doubt about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many candidates have asked that when we talk in like when we are talking and speaking, so we have this mother tongue influence. So and that slang comes in. So will the examiner judges based on that? What do you think about it?
Okay, if you're talking about the criteria pronunciation, it's not about following any particular accent or any style or anything. You should sound neutral. Okay, see, for us, anybody from India, if we talk to them for at least for 10 seconds, we can understand where exactly they are from.
Absolutely.
Even if they are speaking very good English and they are very fluent, but we can understand, okay, they are actually from Kerala or
Yes.
they are actually from Tamil Nadu. We can understand that just because our English is very well influenced by our mother tongue.
Yes.
So pronunciation is checking how much your language is influenced by your mother tongue. That's what it is. So it should sound neutral. So even if you're having a slang, just try to reduce it. Even if I asked her to come
asked.
here. See, അതൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ മലയാളികളുടെ ഒരു ചെറിയ ചെറിയ കാര്യങ്ങളാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതൊക്കെ മാറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ കുറേയൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ ന്യൂട്രലി സൗണ്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ തുടങ്ങും. And that will help you to improve your score a little more. Okay, that's about pronunciation. So we have discussed about all the 4 criteria: fluency and coherence, lexical resources, grammatical range and accuracy, and pronunciation. All right. So these are the things that we actually have with us to discuss with you or share with you. Yeah, and I'll give you a very nice practice session that you can use in your if you want to improve your speaking. See, most of the students just use that 15 minutes of time as their individual speaking session. That's the only thing they do to improve their speaking.
Yes.
Will that help them?
Nowhere. It is not going to help them,
Yeah.
especially when they are Malayalis who always talk Malayalam at home and think that they will
Whoever
get
it is, see, even just not just for Malayalam, anyone
It's
from
like, yeah.
there, they
Yes.
just use their mother tongue too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically when they talk and they imagine to get a 6.5 or say 7 band score in speaking, it's not going to help them at all.
Yeah, so
So it actually begins with practice. So practice means not just practice. We always recommend students to practice wherever and whenever they can. So talking to your own friends, make a video call, make a phone call, talk to them, and exclusively in English. That is how they are gonna improve their language. Okay, so when you talk with your own friends, you get to know your mistakes. They tell you, they point out. So that is actually a correction. You need not have to always be dependent on that 15 minutes when you're coming face to face with a trainer. You can always practice anytime and anywhere.
Even during the individual sessions, they'll just restrict themselves because they're afraid of making mistakes. Right? See, you have to make mistakes. That's how we learn it.
Right.
Okay. All right. So a practice session or practice thing you can use. There are a lot of things, and I hope we have discussed that in earlier sessions as well. So one thing you can do to improve your cue cards. See, most of us find it really difficult to talk for continuously for 2 minutes. So you can just focus on your cue cards and pick any random cue card topic and prepare for 1 minute. That preparation time practice is also really important. And after that, when you're talking, record it and hear your own answer so that you can be your own judge. See, we know most of the things. Is alla, was ana, him alla, her ani, dakka namakku ariyam.
But we restrict ourselves and we just
make the same mistakes again.
Yes.
Unconsciously നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന കുറേ mistakes ആണ്. So you can just correct yourself and improve it, like where exactly you can add more ideas, where you can add more words, and where you can improve. You can just evaluate yourself, and you can even find out the words they are frequently using and learn a 2 or 3 synonyms for that. I think that's more effective than learning some random words. See, a lot of people try to learn new words by 5 words a day, 10 words a day, but
eventually they'll forget it.
Most of the time, even when they're nervous, they won't remember even one word from them. So you can just see, everybody has their own set of words. We use it, we are very comfortable with it. Even when we are nervous, even when we don't know the answer, we'll just stick on to these style. We have our own style. So find out your style, find out your set of words and work on that. You can expand your vocabulary, your style and everything. And if you're searching for the synonym of the same word more than 3 times, that means you don't have to work on your vocabulary, you have to work on your sentence construction, because you need the same words, and you need the same words alternates just because you are using the same sentence frame. Okay, that's why it's repeating. So just work on that as well. So work on yourself, be your own judge, be your own mentor, and speak as much as you want. That will help you. Okay, all the best, guys, all the best, and thank you so much for being with us. I hope this was very useful. Thank you so much, guys.